As we start the new year, it's a great opportunity to talk about something that affects all of us every single day, and that's how we move. Movement influences our strength, our balance, our confidence, and ultimately our independence. Movement influences our strength, our balance, and inevitably our lack of movement also has the same but in the opposite regard. While aging is inevitable, losing our ability to move well does not have to be. It's kind of like which came first, the chicken or the egg. Did I move less and create this, or was it aging and I just couldn't help it? But today's presentation is about exercise, and not in the traditional sense. We're not talking about intense workouts or anything extreme. We're talking about movement as medicine. How simple, intentional movement can help us stay strong, steady, and confident at any age. We'll discuss why exercise matters through the lifespan and what happens when we lose our strength. How falls can be prevented with the right approach, and I'll also introduce the 4 pillars of fitness: strength, balance, endurance, and mobility. I'll explain why all 4 are important for healthy aging, and I'll also demonstrate, with the help of a volunteer, our new S3 balance system, which I can already tell we're going to need more of. We have 2 currently. But it's designed to safely challenge stability and improve balance and reaction time in a controlled environment. You'll get the chance to see how it works and how it fits into our overall wellness programming here at the ARC. My goal today is not just to share information, but to help you feel empowered. Everything we'll talk about is evidence-based, practical, and designed to help you move through daily life with greater ease and confidence. So the 4 pillars of fitness. When we talk about fitness, most people think that it means one thing. Exercise class or cardio on the treadmill, but true fitness is actually built on 4 pillars. Each one plays a different role in keeping us strong, steady, and independent as we age. The first pillar is strength. Strength is what allows us to do everyday things like standing up from a chair, carrying groceries, opening heavy doors, or catching ourselves if we trip. As we age, we naturally lose muscle unless we challenge it. The good news is that muscle responds quickly, and strength training at any age is possible and effective. Even light endurance training done right, consistently, sends a signal to the body that says, I need this muscle to keep working. Keep it strong. The second pillar is balance, and it isn't just about standing on one foot. It's about how well the brain, muscles, joints, and nervous system communicate and focus with each other. When balance declines, confidence often declines too. That's why we focus so much on balance here at the ARC. Improving balance reduces falls, also improves reaction time, and helps you feel steadier in everyday life. This is where tools like the S3 balance come in. They make it more accessible to people who may not feel like it's accessible to them. They're able to do it in a safe, controlled way, so it builds confidence. The third pillar is cardio and endurance. Cardio improves circulation, oxygen delivery, stamina, and even brain health. It doesn't have to mean running at high intensity. Walking, aquafit class, cycling, and group movement all count. The goal is to keep the heart working regularly so activities don't feel exhausting. If you ever go up a few stairs and you have to stop and you're super winded, you could probably use some cardio in your life. Yeah. The fourth pillar is flexibility and mobility, and this is so often overlooked. It's essential. Flexibility keeps the joints moving through their full range of motion, reduces stiffness, and supports posture and balance. Mobility helps us move efficiently and comfortably. Gentle stretching, yoga, and daily movement all help keep the body from feeling tight and restricted. What's important to understand is these 4 pillars work together. Strength supports balance, balance supports confidence, and cardio supports energy and brain health. And flexibility is kind of the bottom of the triangle. It supports everything else. And the goal isn't to be perfect in any of these, it's to touch on each one consistently. That's how we stay mobile, independent, and confident for the long term. Fitness isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters most. So we'll elaborate on that some more. Why exercise matters at any age. And we're going to talk about it again. It's not in a gym class kind of way, but in a real life way. One of the biggest myths about aging is that slowing down is inevitable. The truth is, much of what we think of normal aging is actually the result of not moving. Kind of the chicken or the egg, right? Not getting enough movement, not necessarily getting older itself. Our bodies are designed to move for a lifetime. When we stay active, our muscles stay stronger, our bones stay denser, our balance improves, our brain works better. But when we stop moving, the body adapts too, but in a much opposite direction. All the things that you gain from movement, you lose from not moving. And unfortunately, as we age, we have a fear, and sometimes that fear stops us from doing the one simple thing that we need to do, which is move. From a science standpoint, exercise is one of the most powerful tools that you have. Strength training prevents muscle loss, which naturally accelerates as we age. Balance retrains the nervous system so the body can react. Cardio improves the heart, lungs, and circulation. And what's fascinating is there's studies, lots of studies, I just pulled 3 of them, that consistently show that people can build strength, improve balance well into their 70s, 80s, and 90s. And I would say if Betty Gordon were here, even into their hundreds. Exercise is a signal, right? It signals the brain. Movement acts like medicine for the brain. Regular physical activity increases blood flow. And the most important part is that exercise doesn't have to be intense. It just has to be consistent. It's not about perfection, it's about participation. If you're not participating, all these benefits that are available to you are left on the table. Exercise is going to help you be independent longer, and it makes everyday tasks easier. I'll pull that research, I'll show you that. Strength can be built at any age, even into the 80s, 90s, and not cited here, but hundreds. Garrick, 2020, strength gains in the very elderly, older adults, including those aged 80 or older who engaged in structured resistance training, significantly increased strength, muscle hypertrophy, which is muscle growth, compared to the controls. This confirms that muscle remains responsive to training late in life. Kashi, 2023, resistance training improves strength and function. Summary is, resistance training shows broad benefits beyond strength, including better function, well-being, and it underscores its value for older populations. I have one more here, Carrie, 2023, resistance training boosts strength across loads. This large review confirms that strength training improvements occur in older adults across a wide variety of resistance training styles and loads, reaffirming that muscle adaptations persist through aging. So we talked about what we need to do. What happens when we don't do it? That's when we lose strength. Muscle loss equates to slower movement, higher fall risk, stiffness in the joints, and lower endurance. Starting around our 30s, the body naturally starts to lose small amounts of muscle each year. This process is called sarcopenia. You've probably heard of osteopenia, which is bone loss. Sarcopenia is muscle loss. On its own, it's slow and quiet, but when movement decreases, the muscle loss accelerates. The good news is that it's not permanent and it's not inevitable. Muscle isn't just for lifting heavy things. Again, it's everyday functional things, getting out of a chair, carrying your groceries, picking up your grandchildren. We're not getting older, but because the muscle that supports these movements aren't being challenged, we're losing our functionality. As muscle decreases, the nervous system also becomes less efficient, reaction time slows, balance becomes less stable, and the body doesn't respond as quickly when challenged. That's one reason that falls become more common. Not because people are weak, but because the communication between the brain and the muscles has declined, because it hasn't been challenged. There are also metabolic changes that occur. Muscle tissue helps to regulate blood sugar metabolism. So the more muscle you have, the more insulin sensitive you will be, and the more able you will be to manage your blood sugar. That's hugely important. When we lose muscle, the body becomes inefficient. It can contribute to fatigue, weight gain, decreased endurance, and joint health. Strong muscles act like shock absorbers around the joints. When muscle support decreases, joints take on extra stress, often leading to stiffness, discomfort, and pain, particularly in the knees, hips, and in the back. So what's important to understand is that none of this means decline is inevitable. In fact, the research says quite the opposite. If challenged appropriately, we can counter many of these things as we age. That's why we emphasize strength and balance training here at the ARC. Maintaining muscle mass isn't about aesthetics. It's about preserving independence, confidence, and quality of life. And we'll just talk briefly about falls. Falls happen for a lot of reasons. It can be things in the environment, cluttered space, poor lighting. But another portion of that is just the decline, right? The lack of movement, the communication between the muscle and the brain, and those slow response times. The number one cause of injury in adults 65 and plus is a fall of some sort. 1 in 4 adults over 70 fall every year. And balance training has been proven to improve stability in just 4 to 6 weeks. That's pretty powerful. What else I wanted to see on there? Yeah. Research consistently shows that the most effective fall prevention strategies include all 4 pillars. So we're looking again at strength training, balance training, regular movement, flexibility, and mobility training. Fall prevention isn't about being overly cautious or afraid to move, it's about being capable. So if you feel capable, it removes a lot of the fear, so we can continue to live actively. The S3 here, we have 2 of those. I'll show you a demonstration towards the end. I have a volunteer. It's a really simple apparatus, but I saw this out at the ICAA conference that I attended this past year. And I'm already using them in balance class, but there are many ways that they're utilized that we haven't touched on yet. These can be wheeled into someone's room that's in healthcare. It just tilts, it rolls very simply, it turns sideways. Not only is it standing balance, but there are strength apparatuses attached to it, so you can set and strengthen. I was just really impressed with the way that it worked, how accessible it is. Just after being here a few days, I already have people in balance class. We have 2 people that use it regularly and probably have 4 that would or could if it was available. So for someone that struggles to stand up, they're able to get themselves right up out of the chair. They don't have to travel around behind the chair to exercise. They stand right in the middle of this and have that really secure base to be able to move. Evidence-based, I can show you all the research. The gentleman, he was a physical therapist that developed it. So start where you are. So if you're super inactive, just start adding 5 to 10 minutes a day. You don't have to start with grand gestures and big things, and I'm going to do 7 times this week. Just start simple. Add 5 to 10 minutes a day. If you're already moderately active, add in some of those components that you're not doing. If you always focus on strength, work on balance, work on flexibility. If you're already advanced, make sure you're tracking your progress monthly. So we can do the same thing over and over, and when we fall into that comfort zone, we're not progressing anymore. So for someone that's advanced, tracking progress becomes important. The scientific perspective is training of any kind is effective when it's consistent. Studies show that balance training works best when it gently challenges the body and gradually progresses over time. The S3 allows us to start very conservatively and increase difficulty only as you're ready. So there is no right level to start. You just start where you are. The right level is simply the one that feels challenging but manageable for you. Some people may use both hands to stabilize. Some people may use a floating hand. Some person may use one hand. So there's a lot of variability just within this apparatus here. The same principles apply to all exercise. So whether it's strength training, walking, stretching, or balance work, starting where you are is not a weakness. It's the smartest thing to do for long-term success. Consistency matters more than intensity. Simple daily balance exercises that you can do at home or at your countertop, or if you're in the gym with the S3, just a single-legged stance, standing on one leg, holding on to something, lightly holding on to something, using one hand, progressing through that as you progress. Heel to toe walking in a straight line, heel to toe. Up in the fitness center, we have a nice straight bar that you can just hold on to as you walk, toe to heel. Stand to sit, or sit to stand rather, which we'll demonstrate momentarily, but that's your squat, basically what that is. It's going to keep your hips strong, your legs strong, so that when you sit down, you can get back up. That's important. Weight shifting, right? Just shifting weight side to side. So simple balance things that you can do from home or pretty much anywhere. Motivation versus discipline. This is an important one. This affects all of us when we come to exercise, right? Because if we're just counting on motivation, a lot of times we just don't feel like it. Probably more times than not. So what we need discipline. Motivation versus discipline. Most people wait till they feel motivated to move. That's a problem. You may not ever feel like it. Motivation is waning and unreliable. It comes and goes. It's influenced by sleep, mood, the weather, stress, whatever's going on in your daily life. From a biological standpoint, motivation is tied to brain chemicals like dopamine, and those fluctuate constantly. Discipline, on the other hand, works differently. It isn't about willpower or forcing yourself to do something that you hate. It's about building simple, repeatable routines that don't require much decision making. I always say, if you just show up, that's half the battle. The brain actually prefers routines because they conserve energy. When something becomes habitual, it requires less mental effort, less emotional buy-in. When you move, even gently, your body releases chemicals that improve mood. So the dopamine we talked about, serotonin, other things. You may not feel motivated to move, but when you go and move, something really miraculous happens, and after you're done with the movement, you feel better. Those are brain chemicals released from your muscles moving and contracting. Blood flow improves, the nervous system wakes up, this physical action sends a signal to the brain that says, this feels good, let's do more of it. That's why people often say, I wasn't motivated to come, but I'm glad I did. Or after balance class, I'm sure glad that's over. I've heard that a few times. So discipline doesn't mean doing everything perfectly. It just means showing up. Even when motivation is low, I would say particularly when motivation is low, and adjusting the effort as needed. Some days might mean a full class. Some days maybe you do a partial class or no class, but just come in and do some movement on your own on the cardio equipment. Both count, and both are very important. Discipline breaks the cycle. It helps keep the body engaged even on low energy days. A disciplined approach might say, I move because it supports my health, not I move only when I feel like it. So just changing the perspective there can help working on the discipline component. And here's the encouraging part. Discipline actually reduces stress. You don't have to wonder about what you're going to do because you've already made the decision. You already know. When exercise is part of your routine, it becomes automatic and there's less internal debate and no guilt when you let yourself down. Oh, I was going to, but I didn't feel like it again. Right? And then we get discouraged with ourselves. Movement is medicine. This is an interesting topic. I like this one. When we think about medicine, oftentimes we think about something in a prescription bottle, pill, treatment, something we get from the pharmacy. But one of the most powerful forms of medicine available to us every single day does not come in a bottle. It comes from movement. From a scientific perspective, movement affects most every system in the body. When we move and muscles contract, the blood flows, oxygen flows, the brain releases chemicals, Your body says you're still needed, stay strong. One of the most important roles of movement is how it supports muscle and bone health. Muscles and bones respond to stress when we challenge them. Movement is also powerful medicine for the brain. Regular physical activity increases blood flow. Brain's gotta have blood flow. Movement increases the blood flow and supports areas in the brain involved in memory, decision making, and balance. It reduces anxiety and depression by naturally increasing mood boosting chemicals. So sometimes we need an RX prescription, but we need it for movement, not for medicine in a bottle. I made a small little fitness plan here. Your ARC fitness plan, daily stretching, 2 days of classes, 2 days of cardio or aquafit, and 1 to 2 sessions on the S3. So these are just simple little things that you can create your own pattern, your own plan. But this one's real simple for someone that's just starting out. Focus on daily stretching. You can do daily stretching before you even get out of bed in the morning. You know, you drop your hips to one side and then the other. Draw the knee into the chest, stretch the back out. I have a list of stretches that you can do in your bed if anybody would like that information. The takeaway: balance can be trained, strength can be rebuilt, and confidence can be restored. So balance is not something you either have or lose forever. It's a skill that depends on communication between the brain, inner ears, eyes, muscles, and joints. When we practice balance through standing exercises, shifting weight, or controlled instability, the nervous system adapts. Reaction time improves, coordination sharpens, and bodies become better at responding to slips, trips, and prevent falls. Consistent challenges can make a meaningful difference at any age. Strength can be rebuilt. Loss of strength often feels permanent, but muscle is remarkably responsive throughout life. Rebuilding strength isn't about lifting heavy weights, it's about sending that signal from the brain to the body: you're still needed, we still need you. Stay in there. Confidence can be restored. Confidence is closely tied to physical ability. When balance improves and strength returns, fear often decreases. People begin to trust their bodies again. Movement feels safer, daily tasks feel easier, and hesitation fades. Confidence grows not from avoiding movement, but from practicing it in a safe, supportive environment. Each successful movement reinforces the belief, I can do this. Therefore, these three things together create a powerful cycle. As balance improves, confidence increases, people move more, further reinforcing balance and strength. I have a little video here I want to show you. So this is the gentleman that created the S3 balance device. Is Aaron here? Let's see if I can figure this out. Any IT people in here? Well, we'll just show you in real life. There's a small 2-minute video. It's the gentleman that created the S3 balance device, and it shows you its use in a multitude of settings, from independent living to assisted living to physical therapy and rehabilitation as well. So my volunteer, Mr. Westerbeck here. So he's going to come and have a seat. Do you mind if I tell part of your story? Do you mind if I say things about your balance class and exercise? I'm going to say it anyway. John regularly comes to balance class, and over time he's struggled a little bit with getting up. So we get up and we move pretty quickly. We move around behind the chair. He might still be trying to get up. He's fumbling around a little bit. This has allowed him to get right up and get right into the movement without having to wonder about getting around behind a chair and navigating a lot of things. So if you'll show me how do you get up from the chair, he's going to grab and he's able to pull himself right up. Take a step forward. Generally we move the chair back, but he's able to do all the balance stuff right here. So we'll just do a few lateral raises with the right leg. A couple more. The other side, there you go. Good. There's another gentleman who had stopped coming to balance class altogether because it took him so long to get up out of the chair. He's back in balance class. I think that's a huge success story. You can step back down. This can also be used when these are not in use in class time. They're parked end to end in the middle of the gym on the right side. You can come up at any time and use them. I have a whole packet of exercises I'm going to laminate and hang here. I have another gentleman that's in a wheelchair permanently. He can't get into the strength training equipment. He rolls his wheelchair right up here. He's able to grab these guys right here. I don't know if we're close enough or not. And pull, so he can strengthen his back. Right? You can let those go. There are lower handles here. You probably have to get closer, but bicep curls. You can turn it around and do tricep extensions. There are other apparatus that hook here that do hip extensions. So it is a very versatile piece of equipment. Thank you. I won't make you do a full exercise. I probably didn't do as good as Colin, but he created things, so he's got an advantage. Did you get those other handouts? They've been distributed. Okay. Are there any questions? I have a microphone here if we have any questions.
Carrie,
Yes.
what do you think of chair yoga?
Well, I actually like chair yoga. I actually teach that class. It's actually quite nice. Okay. Chair yoga is great for someone who cannot stand a lot. We don't stand at all in that class, so it's all seated from the chair. And within each movement, there is a scalability. So you just move in the way that you can move. We focus a lot on breathing. We focus a lot on being present. So there's a calming piece to it. Definitely works on the flexibility and mobility. And we also do meditation afterwards. So there's a 30-minute movement practice, and then we do a 10-minute guided meditation.
And it's an excellent class.
That's one of my students. I'm going to let you use this because it won't record if you don't use this. Oh.
When do you teach it?
Chair yoga is Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday at 1 o'clock in the Heritage Exercise Studio across from the library. So every day but Wednesday. We'll go back to this video real quick and then we'll get back to the question.
S3 is for anyone who can stand and wants better health, but especially if you have any of these. Feeling helpless? S3 is ideal because basic biology tells us that anyone can improve with the right attitude. In fact, the less healthy you are, the more you'll benefit from S3. I'd like you to meet Randy, a former S3 skeptic whose mom, 90-year-old Charlotte, used S3 to improve walking while reducing pain and fall risk. Her
Technology's good when it's good. It's okay. I think we get the gist of it, yes. I can make this available on the portal if you want to watch the entire video. You can also go to s3balance.com. They have a website. This video is on there plus about 100 others of different exercises. If you purchase one of these for yourself, which you can do, they're available for purchase. There are videos you can follow along with even as part of the purchase. Back to, you want to try again? Okay, go ahead. They're not cheap. And I don't want to misquote, but I want to say it was either resident council or one-time buy or a combination of both purchased the two that we have. $1,100. That's okay. Don't worry about it. Yeah, we'll go back to questions. Anyone, if you could talk into the microphone. Can it go back there without squealing? You get past that speaker back there.
Are we on?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. An invitation, there's chair yoga, but in the morning at 9:45 every day is floor yoga or standing yoga, whatever you want to say. And all of us who are regulars invite you to come. We do the beginner yoga because it's easier, it keeps us moving, and we don't cry as much, but it's good. Think about it, and you can just come and see how it is. It's
Absolutely.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no expectation of performance. You don't have to worry about that. Any questions? Crickets. Okay, so I brought an additional sign-up sheet just to get a range of interest. Is there anyone that wants to utilize the body composition scale next week? Yes. Okay. I have those 3 sign-up sheets right here. They're by day. It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so make sure you check the day at the top, and then the time slots go across. I'll set these over here for whomever wants to sign up to do the body composition scale next week. Yes, I'm sorry. So I have a scale that uses bioimpedance. You stand on it barefooted, and you put in all your particulars, age, height, gender, and it does a bioimpedance, and it gives you percentage of body fat, it gives you percentage of lean mass, it gives you percentage of water, bone density, and it's not meant to take the place of a medical test, but it gives you a ballpark figure of your body composition. So then we can start looking at things. We'll retest 6 weeks, 3 months, whatever the time frame is, and we can watch your lean mass, make sure that you're gaining or not losing lean mass for sure, and then we can look at the body fat. Am I actually losing body fat? The scale number goes up, where is it coming from? The scale number goes down, what am I actually losing? So that's the purpose of that. I'm gonna just put them on the table over here. Yeah. And then I also printed out, not everyone will want this, but these are those 3 research studies that I cited about strength training at any age and how you can still progress into your 90s. So that's available. And if there are not any questions, you guys are free to go. I have a question. Rewind, don't go anywhere. He's got a microphone right behind you if you would, please.
Are there specific exercises that are really good for building bone health? If you have osteopenia or osteoporosis, do you have specific exercises to work on bone density?
Absolutely there are, and of course if you're under the care of a doctor, you need to get that approved through that, but rebounding is one of the best ones. We have a small little rebounder, it's like a little mini trampoline. It's got a handle, you hold on to it, but that bouncing, even though there's not a lot of impact like on the ground, there's a moment that you're weightless and then the bones load again. So that loading of the skeleton is actually very effective at bone density, challenging bone density and improving bone density. But also too, anything where you're lifting more than your body weight. So strength training, loading the skeleton. Even walking, if you're walking now, adding a 5-pound weighted vest makes a big difference because it's above and beyond what the body is used to. So it causes adaptation.
This doesn't have anything to do with this today, but Carrie's doing another presentation on the 26th of January. Read about it in the information we get. It's really important. At least my wife and I have found out the benefits of it.
So there was a presentation I was going to do, I think it was in December. I came down with the mystery virus, which there's some people in this room that have the same virus. They feel for me deeply, and I for them. It was on NAD+, mushrooms and microbes, so medicinal mushrooms and microbes. So that is going to take place on the 26th. So not this coming Monday, but the Monday after that. Anyone else? Before I cut you loose? All right, I expect to see full exercise classes. I expect the gym to be as full as this room. I have business cards over here too. You can schedule time with me and I will help you personally.